Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 24 updates and spoilers. Woo! Hope you're all having a great Friday so far. I'm still so freaking tired from last night's epic double eviction, but our house guests of the day are Stasia Balego, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, and Maria Mazzone, or Mazzoni? I'm also sorry if I said your name wrong, but thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests today, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right. And before we get going, I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So Norm the Cat, Sheena US 48, Jody Cortez, Susan Pengilly, Don MH302, Holly M., Sean Davis, Jefferson Tucker, Deb Wicks, Susie Fairfield, William Dang, Christine, and Christian Torres. Thank you all so much for your super chats. And Norm the Cat is back today. Thank you, Norm the Cat. As always, we really appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so like I said last night, epic double eviction. I'm so sorry. It really was epic, though. That was just me being tired from it. So, Terrence was evicted by a vote of 4-0. We knew that was coming, right? So then Turner won HOH. He nominates Brittany and Alyssa. And then Monty won the power veto. So Monty and Turner decided it was time to make the move, the big one. So Monty used the POV on Alyssa, and Turner put up Michael in his place. So yeah, Michael put up a really good fight. I was super impressed by his eviction speech. He did his best, but he was evicted by a vote of 3-0, and that means we're now down to our final 5. I wonder which of these house guests we would have expected to make it this far. Excuse me, this far into the season. At the beginning, right? We've got Monty, Turner, Brittany, Taylor, and Alyssa. What a crew. So we saw the episode ended with Brittany really upset that Michael threw her under the bus during his eviction speech. I mean, he has the fight to say, right? All right. So anyway, the feeds come back after the episode and everyone is in the kitchen/dining area. Brittany is still just shell-shocked. She cannot believe what just happened. Not just that Michael left, but Michael throwing her under the bus. So Alyssa says it's just so crazy that Michael went from HOH to evicted in just one night. Wild, isn't it? They're really wondering what the jury is going to think when Michael shows up. And Turner brings up that Terrence was planning to manipulate the jury. You know, he kept saying that over and over and over again. But now Michael is following right behind him and will be able to give his side of the story. That's true, though. So Brittany and Taylor are chatting in the Jetsons' bedroom, and Brittany is super emotional, just in and out of crying. It was going to be happening all night. But Brittany apologizes to Taylor and says, my brain is just really not functioning right now. Mine neither. But Taylor says, at least you didn't have to do the vote, right? That's a plus side. Because she was on the block, she didn't have to be one of the votes for Michael to go. So Brittany agrees, and she's like, yeah, I know that this is what needed to happen to have a shot at winning, right? And Taylor says it's just the way that Michael went out more than anything else. The pitch was hard. You know, he was going hard against Brittany. She says the exit was iconic. Agreed. But Taylor says it was mean. You know, he didn't hug anybody on his way out, so that sucks. But Brittany says that Michael just didn't understand that people were after him. And this is something she kept saying over and over. She says his only strategy was to win the rest of the competitions. I guess what she's trying to say here is Michael should have listened to me and gone after a bigger target last week, but no, he went after Terrence. So you guys are just, if you keep saying the word yawn, it's going to keep happening. But anyway, Brittany says it's okay. I knew that this needed to happen to have any chance to win. She says she's just thrown by what Michael said. She doesn't know what the rest of this game is going to look like now. And she says, I should have gotten off of the Michael train a while ago. So Taylor says, yeah, Michael Josephed you, meaning threw you under the bus on the way out. even though that was like your closest ally. So Brittany says, I just never thought that Michael would campaign against me. I guess I just thought that if we ever found ourselves in that situation, that Michael would realize there was nothing he could do. He's not allowed to try to stay. My God. And Brittany just keeps going on and on and on about this. So then Brittany's like, what was he saying about me leaking information? Like, what does that even mean? So Brittany has no idea that the whole house was comparing notes about her overplaying last week. Everybody knows that she was trying to make all these deals. All of that information was already out there. And Michael just chose to reemphasize that in his eviction speech. But Brittany didn't know that that was all out there. She probably didn't even realize that Michael knew some of that stuff because she didn't tell him, but it got around through other people. So Turner comes in to give Brittany a hug, and he apologizes for, putting her up, taking out Michael. And Brittany says, it's okay. Like, I actually really appreciate that I didn't have to vote. I knew, again, that this had to happen. And Brittany says, I was thinking of Michael as a friend, and he was thinking of me as a pawn. So Turner says, even with everything that was said, I love you as a person, and I'm going to be friends forever. I'm sorry. And Brittany's like, it's okay. So after Turner leaves, Brittany's like to Taylor, what do we do now? Like, where do we go from here? She doesn't have Michael anymore to be a Brit flea on. So Taylor says, we have to win. I will be damned if we let Turner and Monty railroad the three of us to the end, meaning them and Alyssa. And Taylor says Michael was right. That was the resume move that everyone wanted to have, right? So now we have to win because we got to take out the people that made the move. She says Turner can't play for HOH now, so this is our chance, right? But Brittany is she's worried that she's going to be the next target, and Taylor's reassuring her, no, you won't be next. I mean, we'll see. But anyway, while they were talking, Monty, Turner, and Alyssa are chatting in the kitchen, and Turner says, you guys are both my best friends in the house. This is amazing. So glad that you're all still here. So Turner apologizes to Alyssa for putting her up on the block, and Alyssa says, it's okay. I understand, and I'm still here. So that's great. So Alyssa says she appreciated also Monty using the POV on her. So then Alyssa starts telling them about Michael's campaign to her, because we heard Michael's eviction speech, which was a friggin' banger, but we didn't get to hear his campaign conversations during the commercial breaks. So apparently Michael was talking to Alyssa one-on-one and telling Alyssa that Brittany has been lying about everything all season, including her job. And Alyssa says that Michael was going on a rant about how Brittany spills everything to everyone. Oh, shit. So, wow. Monty is like, we should not let Brittany know that we were all already aware of the stuff that Michael was saying in his speech about her, right? She doesn't need to know that we already knew all that. Monty says at the end of the day, Brittany did really say all that stuff. We have confirmation. So we have justification to put her up on the block this coming week. So Turner's like, do you think that Taylor would still be on board with Brittany going next? If Taylor wins HOH, Turner's a little bit nervous about that. No. Brittany would not be going up on the block if Taylor won HOH. But Monty's like, yeah, I think so. She was on board with it before. She knows that Brittany shot herself in the foot. Taylor would not be putting Brittany up. Okay, so Alyssa's looking at Monty and Turner, and she's like, final three? I'm just going to be so annoyed if Alyssa gets dragged to the end after doing, nothing this season. But Monty's like, yeah, we have a solid group right here. Turner agrees. I wouldn't say it's an official final three, but Alyssa's trying to make it happen, for sure. So anyway, a little later, Taylor is alone in the bathroom, and she says, that was Turner's third HOH. Michael had 3 HOH wins. Taylor says Turner's got to go. Turner must go up on the block. I have to win. You can do it, girly. So in other news, leading up to the HOH competition, Brittany continues her woe is me bit. Michael campaigned against me. I was too loyal to him. I'm mad at him. Turner was also not like super pleased with the way that Michael went out, because he feels like Michael said that Turner used LGBTQ manipulation against him. So we didn't get to hear that whole conversation that they were having because the show was like coming back from a commercial, but we heard that little snippet of it on the show. But like Turner did tell Michael this week that moving forward, he would not want to put up the other LGBTQ person. And then he did do that. Like, so, I mean, he's going to get called out on that, right? So anyway, yeah, the feeds went down for the HOH competition, and it was a late night. I mean, they didn't start until pretty late. The feeds were down for 5+ hours because it was individually timed, baby. And it sounds like it was the black box competition, which I'm excited for. This is always a fun one to watch. Probably not so fun to do, but Monty won HOH. Whoa, so that's his second HOH win. What is he going to do? We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's talk about the competition. Apparently, the theme was Horror Fest, and the house guests were completely in the dark during this competition. Like I said, it was individually timed. There's creepy stuff all around. Ooh, I would not enjoy this competition for sure. But it sounds like Brittany lost by 9 seconds. Oh my God. Can you imagine how insane things would be if Brittany had won that HOH? It would have been chaos. It would have been a lot of fun. But 9 seconds, dang. So turns out Taylor had a really hard time with this competition emotionally. I think it like triggered something for her from her past. So like even after they came back in the house, she was like, "You're in the house. It's okay. Like, don't worry." And it sounds like she tapped out of the competition early. She did not complete it. I think she tapped out after like 10 minutes. I hope she's okay. Like, that really sucks. But yeah, Monty is the HOH. So before Monty could get his HOH room, Turner got his HOH basket from winning HOH in the double. And he got a letter from his girlfriend, Megan, and she said their cats are doing well. Very cute. Turner got pictures of him and his girlfriend. He got snacks, a bucket hat. There's so many bucket hats this season. Nail polish, a bandana, a hoodie. Fun stuff. And then Brittany just continues crying throughout the evening, the night, about how Michael threw her under the bus. Oh my God, give it up. So meanwhile, Monty and Turner are very excited that taking Michael out is going to be on both of their resumes, right? They really tag teamed this move. So I think they're particularly excited about it because one of the worries about targeting Michael was, okay, if you're the one to take him out, you're going to have a huge target on your back. But because they were both pretty instrumental in it, that target is kind of split. So it takes the pressure off a little bit, right? They get to share the burden there. But they're very happy with how things worked out. So Monty finally gets his HOH room around 4:30 a.m. and he got pictures with his dad and his little brother. Oh, they were all talking about how much Monty looks like his dad. And his letter was from his dad. And it was very, very sweet, talking about how proud he is of Monty and the person that he's become. And Monty was very emotional reading this letter. He was crying. He had to pause for a while to kind of just like regain his composure. Aww. He got a hoodie, corduroy bucket hat. His music is Burna Boy. I'm not super familiar with him, but sounds cool. He got all sorts of snacks and a stocked ass fridge. So I'm wondering if like some of that was Turner's stuff in the fridge too, because like seriously, it was packed to the gills. But yeah, everybody hung out in the HOH room for a little bit, and then it was time for one-on-ones. So let's go through some highlights from those one-on-ones. 101. Alyssa was up first with Monty, and it was like 5 a.m. at this point. But Monty says, it seems like everybody's cool with Brittany going up this week with all the information that's come out in the past few days. So he says he needs someone to put up next to Brittany, and he is considering his options. There are not many. So he says, I always had a great relationship with Turner. We were in the leftovers together. We were in the pound together. So feeling pretty good about him. Taylor has come a long way. She's been on the block like 50 million times, and a lot of those were like on eviction night. So that's really tough. Don't really want to put her up if I don't have to. So Monty asks Alyssa, like, are you cool with being a pawn? And Alyssa's like, I trust you and Turner the most. Which is funny because Alyssa has barely spoken any game with Monty all season. But okay. So she says she wants to work with Monty and Turner. And she is willing to go up on the block as a pawn to prove that she is a team player, right? Because she hasn't won any competitions yet. She hasn't had a chance to prove that she's loyal to them, to prove herself. So this is her way of doing that. So Monty also has a favor to ask. He's like, could you let me know if anybody's throwing my name around this week, like potentially as a target next week? He says that could impact what I do this week. And he actually ended up asking pretty much everybody to keep their eyes and ears open, right? To find out if anybody's talking about Monty being a target. So Alyssa's like, yeah, of course I'll do that for you. And you let me know if Brittany says anything about me. Because we've seen this past week, she's been talking a lot and she's been saying some wild stuff. So let me know. All right. So then Brittany was up next with Monty. And Brittany's saying, I think Michael is going to regret how he acted on his way out. I don't think he will. But anyway, Brittany, it's really not that serious. But Brittany says, I just don't think that Michael had self-awareness about his position in the game. She will not let those go. Again, I think she means Michael should have gone after a bigger target than Terrence last week. So Brittany's saying if he didn't have that self-awareness, then how great of a player was he? He was a comp beast. Ooh, okay. So Monty is bringing up what an amazing argument Michael came up with in like 2 minutes for his eviction speech. That's the lawyer in him, right? So Brittany says, I'm just glad that I didn't have to vote Michael out. All right. So eventually they get past all the chatter about Michael, and Monty wants Brittany to address some of the things that Michael said in his eviction speech, right? About how Brittany's got all these final 2, final 3 deals. And Brittany's like, yes, I did have a lot of final 2s and final 3s. I will admit that. But she says most of them were brought to her. She was not initiating those. So of course she's not going to say no. But she says she was not serious about all of those deals. She is claiming that she was loyal to the Brochella Final 4 above anything else. So Brittany says, the only person that I really heard throwing your name out there is Alyssa. And if you think about it, like, you can't play for HOH next week, but if Alyssa, who's targeting you, is gone, you might not have to worry. You might not have to worry about anybody targeting you next week. So Brittany says, keep me around. I can be an asset for you. There's going to be a lot of mental competitions coming up, and I can take shots at people that you don't necessarily want to take yourself. Like, I can do that for you. So she swears on her husband that she would not target Monty if she were to stay and win HOH next week. She would be targeting Turner. And I think that's true. I think she would be targeting Turner for sure. But Monty lets her know, yes, Alyssa will be going up on the block this week. And he's kind of playing it up to Brittany like she's going to be his target. And he's asking Brittany, how would you feel about, I don't know, like being a pawn? So he says, we all have the opportunity to play for the power veto now. And even if you are still up against Alyssa after the veto, everybody knows that Alyssa has a ton of jury votes waiting for her. So, like, nobody's going to want to keep her around and go to the end with her. So Brittany says, of course, she's never going to be, like, happy about being a pawn, but she says she understands. So Brittany's asking Monty, would you keep me if it's a tie? Because she feels like if it is her and Alyssa up on the block on Thursday, Brittany will want to keep her and Turner will want to keep Alyssa. So it could come down to a tiebreaker for Monty to break. So Monty's like, yeah, I'll keep you. But Monty says also, like, I'm not holding myself to any decisions right now, right? We got to see how this week plays out. We got to see who wins the veto. We got to see what happens. So he doesn't want to like make any promises right now that he cannot fulfill. So then Monty talks to Turner next, and these two are freaking pumped about this whole night played out for them. They feel like it really couldn't have been more perfect. So Turner says, like, we're gonna make it to the end, and it's not even gonna be that hard. We'll see. Everybody always says that. Okay. So Monty tells Turner about his conversations that he's had so far, and Monty says, I gave Alyssa and Brittany a heads up that they're going up on the block. So Monty says, Brittany was not totally honest with me during our conversation. And that just shows me that the trust is lost there, right? I shouldn't feel bad about putting her up on the block. So Turner says, I'm assuming Brittany is the target. And Monty gives a quick, like it was so fast, you could have missed it if you weren't looking for it. So Monty says, I'm going to be transparent with you here, of course. This week, I really just want to let things ride, see how the cards fall, because, we're not sure who's going to win the power veto or make themselves a target. This is like what he was saying to Brittany before. He doesn't want to make any promises. Monty says to Turner, though, like, I need you here next week. So there's a 0% chance that you will be going up on the block. You don't have to worry. But Monty is not going to commit himself to any other ideas. He says, I've come a really long way with Taylor. But he does say to Turner, like, if I find out that Taylor is talking about targeting me next week, then she might have to go up. So he's really wanting people to come back to him and spill info, if anybody hears his name, and then that person could potentially be the target. So bottom line, Monty's like, we got to see what happens this week and see how people act, because people just have a way of freaking out and making themselves a target, right? Opportunities present themselves. So then Taylor is the last to have her one-on-one with Monty, and they hug. They're celebrating. They're having a grand old time, and they feel like they're just in a really great spot right now in the game. Monty says there have been miracles happening, right? I mean, Turner winning HOH, Monty winning the veto. He mentions Michael's thing breaking. So it sounds like there may have been some sort of malfunction during the POV competition. What? So, yeah. But then I also heard that somebody else's thing broke too. So I guess they just kept going with that. I don't know. But I don't know what part of the equipment broke. So I don't know if it actually mattered. But anyway, Taylor and Monty talk about the plan for the week. Of course, we know that Monty's planning on putting Alyssa and Brittany up on the block. So Taylor wants to know who is the target out of the two. And Monty says, well, Turner is definitely pushing for Brittany to go. And Monty is going through some of the pros and cons here. He says, we know Alyssa would definitely have more votes in the jury than Brittany would. Alyssa is not a big threat in competition. She hasn't performed well. And Brittany isn't really a threat in comps either. And, she's been running amok, but she's not a threat for comps or jury. So Monty says, my gut is telling me that Alyssa would be the ideal target this week. But it's complicated because he knows that Turner would prefer for Brittany to go. And he knows that Taylor would prefer for Alyssa to go. So he's stuck in the middle. So Monty says, I don't want to make any concrete decisions right now. Got to see what happens. Same thing we've heard him say to other people. He says, I really need some eyes and ears this week listening for my name. So then Taylor's asking, like, what's the deal with Turner? How close are you to him? How attached are you to him? Because remember, Taylor wants Turner out of here. So Monty says, Turner seems to have this weird attachment to Alyssa that he just can't really comprehend. He says Turner has been vouching for Alyssa for a long time now. But Monty admits, as of right now, he is leaning towards evicting Alyssa if it were to come to a tie. So there's more talk about Turner. And Monty is not like super into the idea of taking Turner out this week because he feels like Turner can be a shield for him. If he did take Turner out this week and then Alyssa or Brittany won HOH next week, Monty feels like he would be in trouble at that point, right? He would have to win the veto to keep himself safe. So Taylor's like, okay, I just wanted to see where you're at because in my mind, now that Michael's gone, Turner is the next biggest target. He couldn't play for HOH this week. Why not take him out, right? That's my line of thinking. So Monty's like, well, I can't help it if you win the veto and use it on Brittany. In that case, I would have to put Turner up on the block. No other choice, right? And then you and Brittany would be the voters. It would be up to you to vote how you want to vote. Oop! And Monty says that would be kind of ideal if that's what happened. So, I guess he would be okay kind of with Turner going as long as he's not the one to do it. But Monty says, if I win the power veto, probably going to have to keep the nominations the same because he does not want to be the one to make that move against Turner. This is wild. So Taylor lets Monty know she is fully locked in with him now. Brittany has given her a plethora of reasons not to trust her, not to be completely transparent with her. And when you feel like you can't trust someone anymore, what's the point, right? So Taylor says all of her eggs are in Monty's basket. Don't make me look like an effing idiot. So Monty seems invested in Taylor as well. And it really does seem, though, like Monty is playing the middle right now between Turner and Taylor. It's going to depend on who wins competitions moving forward. So today, that was all last night / this morning because it was super, super early this morning. But the house guests were sleeping in late today. Good, because they were up till 7 in the morning. I don't know. It was wild, but nothing's really happening so far. Nominations are supposed to be happening later today, and it should be Alyssa and Brittany going up on the block unless Monty hears his name from somebody else. But yeah, if you want to check back later, I will post the nominations, and then tomorrow they should be having the POV competition. So, hi. Hello.
Oh. Hi.
Oh. I want to thank today's super chatters. Yay! Hold on one sec. I just got to add this one. What do you think, Bowie? The house is so quiet now.
I think Alyssa and Brittany are going to go up on the block.
Yeah, I think so too, Bobby. All right. So I want to thank our super chatters. Norm the Cat, thank you so much as always. Sarah Nichols, thank you so much. And Sarah says, I'm numb from last night. I saw Michael to the end. I know. I was definitely rooting for him, but I can't blame the house guests for taking the shot. I mean, if he made it to the end, he was going to win.
Yeah.
So you got to do what you got to do, right? Shane Wright, thank you so much for the super chat.
You know what happens when you go out there guns blazing?
You're going to get targeted.
Straight to hell.
Yeah. So, Sean Davis, thank you so much, as always. And Sean says, Brittany's face at the eviction was iconic. She would be good to take to the final two because she cracks under pressure. That is for sure. The jury segment was the most tense that we've seen in a long time. Yeah. Some of the other tense ones I can think of. Nicole, or Davon and freaking Polly. Oh my god. But yeah, this one
waving that flag, Pie Man.
Yeah, this one was pretty wild. Dane Thomas, thank you so much for the super chat as always. And Dane says, thanks for another super mega bussin' update. You're very welcome. I hope it wasn't disgusting or ass.
Maybe it was gas.
At least mid to
gas.
Mid to gas or bussin'. But anyway, that's fine. Yeah, facts. Fire. Rug Shack. Megan Belmonte. Thank you all so much for being here. We will be back tomorrow. Actually, I wanted to let you know I am planning on doing tomorrow's spoiler early because my sister's birthday is this weekend and we are going to a cat cafe. So I got to get my work done before the cat cafe.
Please bring me home a cat in a bag.
Yeah. So I will be tweeting ahead of that spoiler. I'm not sure yet what time it's going to be, but a cat cafe, they have kittens and stuff that are available for adoption. So it's going to be fun. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.